Breaking news alert out of North Korea. North Korea is continuing to push the buttons of nations all around the world with their continued defiance of international law to cease their nuclear program and not launch any further test missiles. The newest shenanigans the communist regime is up to includes plans to launch a satellite into space that many experts believe could be a Trojan horse for additional weapons testing. According to a report from Fox News, North Korea is currently being sanctioned by the United Nations for both the nuclear program and the launch of ballistic missiles. Fox News is reporting. Through various channels, we've recently learned that the North has completed a new satellite and named it Kwangmyongsong-5, the Jungang-ilbo Daily reported, quoting a South Korean government source. The isolated North Korean regime has called the sanctions an act of war that's been rigged up the U.S. The South Korean newspaper reports that the communist regime's plan is to put a satellite with cameras and telecommunication devices into orbit. Pyongyang launched its Kwangmyongsong-4 satellite in February 2016, which much of the international community viewed as a disguised ballistic missile test. A spokesman for the South Korean military reportedly said there was nothing out of ordinary at this moment, but added that Seoul was watching out for any provocative acts, including the test of a long-range missile disguised as a satellite launch. North Korea seems to be determined to get military action taken against themselves or possibly wiped off the world map as they continue to ignore America and other countries' call to halt missile testing and their nuclear program. What makes North Korea having nuclear missiles so dangerous is not only the fact they could launch one and do massive damage and rack up a lot of casualties, but that they could also be either receiving or giving that same sort of technology to other enemies of ours. Like Iran, for example. The last thing we need is radical Islamic terrorists having access to dangerous weapons of mass destruction, and let me tell you, nothing unites folks better than having a common enemy. At the end of the day, radical Islamists and communists may not like each other very much, but they can easily set aside their differences and set their mutual sights on the United States to accomplish a common goal. What North Korea doesn't seem to understand is that the Obama regime is long over. A new day has dawned in America, one that features strong leadership from an individual who is fearless and not at all concerned with preserving their feelings. If Kim Jong-un continues to disrespect our country, you can bet your bottom dollar Trump will take action, we will be successful, and the North Korean dictator will live to regret his choices. We have a lot of troops who are currently in training missions to prepare to take nukes out of North Korea, a fact that ought to have the regime quaking in their commie red booties. If these individuals were wise, they'd take the hint and drop the shenanigans before the big boys come to play.